We could choose to do a lot of lead-in on part 5 here on our series Confessions of a NASCAR Photographer with the late LaDon George. But you know what? It's better if he tells it. Have a listen, and we appreciate you watching. Thank you, Bryan Hallman, for your yeoman's work in getting this put together.
I guess over all the years you shot, you took a lot of pictures.
Oh yeah, you know that. I fill a room with them.
Are there has to be some that stand out. What are some of the pictures you took that really stand out?
One's Rusty's wreck at Daytona, flipping down the backstretch. I got that, but I was up in almost on top of the roof, shooting across the track, and got that one where he goes tumbling down the backstretch. That was pretty cool. Another one, I guess, was some of the more ones that I guess are out there is like Dale winning the 500 at Daytona, where he went down pit row and all the crew members came out and congratulated him. So I got that shot of him coming down pit row with all the crew behind pit.
Was that from the roof as well?
Yeah, it wasn't a roof. It's something else we called it, but yeah,
okay,
close enough.
Yeah.
Shot that, and then him spinning in the grass after went through there. Okay, and that was pretty cool. In fact, there was a toy company that used my shot of all the people along pit row, and they put out a little replica of his car going down pit row, but the picture behind it was all the crew members. You know.
They got that from you?
Yeah. And then, talking about that photo, I don't know, 2 weeks later, I was at an autograph section up. I was up Winston-Salem or someplace, shooting the drivers during their autograph session. And lo and behold, here comes a race fan, and there's a damn picture of my shot. He's getting Dale to sign it. Where in the hell did he get that picture from? Well, what they do, they get the illustrated, and they shoot the picture that came in illustrated for a picture to get somebody signed. Yeah. I started to say something. I never did say. I was going to say, where'd you get that? But I never did. I have other shots where people take it to, you know,
scan it out or take a picture out of the book or out of the magazine.
Right. Yeah. But that was a pretty good shot, and some different ones that track.
Like the Rusty flip. Did you ever know? I'm sure Rusty saw it. Did he?
Oh yeah, he got a copy of it.
Did you give him a copy of it?
Yeah.
What did he say? Did he any comment?
I forget.
Ouch. Or
yeah. And I shot in '87, I guess, or '88, whenever Petty and Daytona came out of 4 and flipped going down the front stretch. The bad flip that they had at Daytona with him. Well, I was in turn 4, and can't think of the guy's name that wrecked it, but I got the start of it.
Phil Bartdahl?
Bartdahl. I got the start of it. When Phil came up behind him and started pushing, I got him when the car started going sideways. And he got all the way down pushing him, and you see Foyt going past him on the bottom, and then you see the car lift. Ran out of it. So, I gave Richard a set of them. He had them in the museum. He said, "Yep, that's when hit the fan." But yeah.
I know they had the car on display for a while.
Yeah.
They would take it to Martinsville for goodies.
Yeah.
Goodies Headache when they sponsored a race, and then it's also at the Petty Museum.
Yeah. So that's where it's. Yeah. Read that, and I went. Brad Klowski. He was driving for Junior at Fontana. he went, shot of him in turn 1, up on the fence, on fire. He caught on fire and came around. He was up on the side of the fence on fire.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. What do you want to think about ones you like?
Yeah, that's after so many. That's what I said. Usually a few stand out.
Yeah. Also the one with, let's see, what was some of the other ones?
I know one of the ones that shows up a lot, though, even though it doesn't have your name on it, is Dale Earnhardt holding young Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I shot that, and it's been everywhere. It don't have my name on it, but it's been everywhere. That's when Cindy and I went over and we were talking to Dale one time about something, and he was sitting with his back against the garage, or outside, and he had Elliott Chase in his lap, and he was young then. Okay, and I shot that, and we ran it in Illustrated, and then even today it's being used when they talk about Chase sometimes.
Yep. It pops up every couple of months.
Right, and we shot him while he was growing up, you know. Oh yeah, Cindy ended up marrying Chase.
Married Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Photo editor. But yeah, and Carl Edwards at Talladega, when he went into the fence in 2009, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he got into the fence and tore the car all apart. And you see the parts going everywhere.
Where'd you shoot it from? Where were you at?
Front stretch.
Okay.
Pit row.
Okay.
I usually shot turn 1 there after a while, or down the end of pit road.
Yep.
Well, after they come out of the...
As they came towards the finish line.
Right, and then I shot it with 300. But yeah, he came. I was on my way to Victory Lane. I was going to say, well, from where I'm at, I can get to Victory Lane before he gets back around, you know. And now, yeah, that's where. And he got out of the car and walked across the start-finish line.
Yep.
That was a pretty good one.
Did you like shooting the race cars more than the people more than the race cars, or everything equally?
Probably equally. I like doing both.
What about pit stops?
Yeah, pit stops. That I didn't shoot as much as Jim and Timmy did. They usually took care of the pit stops. You know, like Daytona, you had to do it divided up. You couldn't run that whole thing by yourself on pit stops. You know, Timmy take the first half, and Jim would take the second half. You know, and then when I was in Pocono by myself, I went to turn 1, shot. Went to turn 3 and shot pit row. Usually I got up. I usually went to 1, came back, and with first set of pit stops, I'd get the first pit.
Yep.
That was always good.
Yeah.
But the first 2 shots or something. Then you go to turn 3, and then I came back and shot some pit stops, and then you had to shoot Victory Lane. So, yeah, now that, when you're by yourself, that's a long track to run around.
Pocono's front stretch is...
And I always, the 500 there, God, it took forever to get that damn race over with, you know. And unless you had assignment pit stop to shoot, you know, you just shot whatever you wanted to.
Yeah.
So.
I know when you were part of a little bit of an incident in October of 1995 at Rockingham. The basis of the story is a NASCAR official said that they had a lug nut missing on the right rear of Earnhardt's car.
Yeah, he came in for a pit stop. That there again is knowing who you can go into a pit with or without, okay, or couldn't go into. And we knew Childress, we always, you know, could go into his pits and stuff, or Dale, whatever you want to call it. So we shoot the pit stop, he goes back on the track. Well, we're standing around, and then they talked about the lug nut being missing. And Childress comes up to me, he said, I need you to go get a picture of that wheel. Where it's on there, it's not missing. It's on the right side, not the left side. I said, Richard, I can't go out on the track. He said, yes, you can. I said, I can't. Okay, now there's some situation there. Okay, if I refuse Childress, he won't let me in his pit anymore. If that happens, NASCAR is going to get on my ass. Now, what do you do? So anyway, he said, go, I said, I'm not a member. He says, I'm hiring you. You're a member of our pit crew, and you, being a member, you can go over the wall. Okay. So I looked around for a NASCAR official to ask. Couldn't find one. Okay, so they told me he was coming back in. I'm going, oh shit. Okay, so I got right up next to the wall. As soon as he came in and stopped, a NASCAR official ran out to look at the tire. I was right behind the NASCAR official. And his face when he turned around and saw me, I was like, what? But I went out, shot the tire, and ran back over the wall. and nobody said anything. So I thought, maybe I got away with that. But I knew I figured because they had mentioned on TV that Richard had hired somebody to go over the wall and shoot the tire. So if you watch TV, you can see me going over the wall and shooting the tire and come back.
Yeah, there's actually a picture of you on the right side of the car on pit road.
Right. The problem is, Don Kelly, that was seen, took a shot of me from the roof, me going around. And after that, after the race and everything, I told Phil. Phil was the photo editor then.
Phil Cavelli.
Yeah. I said, don't you show that shot of me on the other side of the car. No. We're not going to do any of that. Next week, here comes the scene. Huh, what's that? Shot of LaDon going around the car. So I said, oh, hell, somebody's going to say something. We got to Phoenix, when we were at Phoenix. This is when we raced earlier. Yeah. NASCAR, one of the guys that worked with NASCAR, I knew, he said, come in the press rooms. Come here. I thought, oh shit. He says, I said, what do you want? He said, you've been called to the trailer. And when you say you've been called to the trailer, you knew what trailer you were going to, the NASCAR official trailer. So I went up there and said, okay. Oh, before that, I went by Childress's
his hauler.
His hauler. I said, Richard, I said, NASCAR's called me to come to the trailer about Rockingham. You want to come with me and tell you? Oh, if they want to see me, a little better words, they can come here and get me, okay? I said, oh, I'm all alone on this. So I go into the trailer and there's Gary Nelson, Mike Heldon, both Bryans,
the
Francis is in there.
So you had Bill Jr. in there?
Yeah, the whole Junior and then Bryan.
Oh.
I had the whole group sitting in there. And I guess, I forget, Nelson or Junior, or one of them said, what's this shot you going over the wall in Rockingham? I said, well, Childress asked me about if I could do it, and I really didn't want to do it, but I was in a position where I, one of two evils. Says, does Childress pay your salary? I said, no, sir. He pay your health insurance? I mean, he went down the whole. I said, well, they sit there, and you know how they mold around a little bit, and you don't say anything unless you're spoken to.
Yep.
And he's telling me where I was going, because I knew they could pull my credentials and ban me, you know, whatever. He's telling you what we're going to do. And I said, yes, sir. He said, we didn't, but he said, we're going to make a rule in the book, that LaDon George rule, that if you go over the wall pit raw, you're automatically, credentials are pulled. I said, yes, sir. He said, now go and have a nice day. So that was that. And I went to Childress. Childress paid me a $20 bill and signed it.
Oh, God. Had you had any dealings with the Francis before that? I mean, did they know who you were?
I'd shot Bryan in the office. I'd shot all the Francis down in Daytona, you know. Yeah.
Okay, so they did know who you were. You weren't a stranger, which is probably why they maybe didn't do anything.
Maybe. A lot of people knew, majority of everybody knew me.
Yeah.
They just, a lot of them didn't know my name.
Okay.
Yeah. Tony was the first one he was shooting Victor Lane in Dorsey. Had some shots from, she had an assignment from NASCAR to shoot Tony. Okay.
About Dorsey Patrick.
Yeah. And she, you know how Dorsey was. She'd take a shot. She'd say, oh, hold on just a minute. So then I'd take it. He could see me. I'd take a shot. That was it. One shot. Dorsey, why can't you shoot like that guy back there? And then later on, I got the contract. The illustrator got the contract to shoot the same thing that Dorsey had been shooting. So I ended up shooting Tony anyway. So that's how basically we got to know each other. Yeah. In there. And the other thing, well, I know we were talking about pictures, but the other thing about Tony was some of those reporters would ask the stupidest question to Tony, and Tony would go right back to, now that's a stupid ass question, you know, or he'd give them some smart answer about it, you know. Yeah. But I always got along with Tony. Yeah, but as far as photos, that was still spits out there. But I don't know. Sometimes you don't just took a lot of them. But I remember the one in Loudon one time. That was when Robbie Gordon was racing. Him and I think Michael got mad or something, and on the backstretch, and he threw his helmet at him or something like that. But I don't know, there's different photos that you take that at the time, that's not bad, you know. But probably some of those kind of stand out, some of the most of them, you know. And also I did a trailer expedition from Charlotte to Phoenix, where I took the van and followed the tractor trailers out. And I was supposed to have Robinson with me, but he had something, he couldn't come, so I was by myself. So I started out on Monday from Charlotte to go to Phoenix, but I knew I couldn't I had to get a distance before the tractor trailers caught up with me.
So you had to get ahead of them.
Right, because they run two on a pair. I mean, they run a pair of drivers.
Yeah.
And the only time they stop is fuel, just about. So I went out and got out to Dallas before they caught me. And because then we had CVs and everything, we could keep in touch with each other. And so I shot the tractor trailers from there to Phoenix. And what I'd do to tell them I'm okay, I had to go ahead of them for ways and then get out and find the place I wanted to shoot them from, like up on a hill or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did that, okay. Then after I forget who all I went with, but I only had like 3 or 4 haulers that I was following, okay? Because they all went out at different times.
Yeah.
And they get together and go. So after that, I'd get back in the van and haul ass and try to catch up with them. And I'm doing pretty good speed trying to get up with them. And they said, come on, what are you doing hanging back there? So I get back up with them, and then when they stop at a truck stop to fuel up, then I would stop and take photos of them getting out of tractors and stuff, and them getting gas and all this other stuff. And then I would get back in. We start all over again, and I try to find places where I want to shoot them from, all together or a single tractor coming across trailer. And then once we got out to Phoenix, there was a place outside of Phoenix, I can't think of the name of it, a truck stop. It's where they all had their tractor trailers washed before they went into town, okay? So they had a group there that came and washed their so I get pictures of them washing the tractors and the trailers and everything, and talking.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty good, neat run, but it took me a week to get back. I mean, you didn't stop, on the way.
Yeah.
So that's why I got ahead of them in Dallas to get all, because not a whole lot to shoot between here and Dallas. I mean, get out to get the desert, and because out of Dallas we went to El Paso. The El Paso went over, but yeah, that was pretty good. And then we did also did some Kyle Petty charity rides, motorcycle stuff. Now, I didn't have a cycle, but had the van, so followed them. California, someplace. I got a jacket from it, but that was a pretty cool ride. Seeing, and you go to different spots, and these different riders would join the thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd have 100, sometimes you had 40.
I know they had a core group that was doing the whole
We
from
had a
coast
core
to coast.
Group. Right. You had some of the drivers that went on, and a core group that went. And every place, the city where we went to, they had a hospital or something we went to. It was a charity deal. I can remember Memphis, we went to a big place there where children were at. Some other places we stopped, and and then some places you go along the highway and people are already there waiting for you to come by, So
that was another week's worth of travel there.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. So let's see. There was also the driving schools. Also went to Atlanta, Bombardera, but that was through a event on a media tour.
Okay.
I went to it. Won a trip there, and the riders were all pissed off because they didn't win it. Because
there were a lot of press deals.
Right.
I guess each weekend.
Yeah.
I know that we went to Phoenix one time, and Haviline had a party out at Mummy Mountain,
right,
at the mountain,
right.
and we went out there. I didn't get to do many of them because I usually wasn't in town that early, but I guess you got to do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. But the driving school was Roush. I won a thing during the media tour from Roush Racing.
Okay.
And I got to go there and race with all their different ones. Mitch Musgrass, Mike Martin, their IMSA driver.
Okay.
And we got to do sled pads, all kinds of stuff, and drive around the track,
Yeah.
in the Mustangs. And I'll never forget, I thought I was doing pretty good. When you were on the track and a professional was on the track, you always stayed your lane, they would pass you.
Yeah.
I was coming out of one turn, I was doing a little over 100. I thought that was pretty cool. All of a sudden I hear, Mark Martin went, like, okay, I'm just sitting still. And then I rode with Ted Musgraves and Mark and all the different ones,
Would they try to scare you?
Well, they didn't try. They just, I said,
Did their thing?
yeah, I said, Musgraves, I said, do what you do. And they're pretty cool, and they go, really go through it. And then on the way back, Musgrave broke a transmission.
With you in the car?
With me in the car. He said, oh, shit. Oh, he said, transmission went. So they were going to get a wrecker to come get it. Yeah. Said, you want to ride with them or ride with... I said, I'll stay in the car with you. So went back. And that was pretty cool. And then also got to ride with drivers at Petty School and stuff, and got a thing that they used to have a driving school at Disney out here.
Yep.
And I went there, and also shot some bush races out there. They ran bush there for a little bit. Never cup, but bush.
Yep.
So anyway, we're talking about press deals and stuff. Probably the greatest sponsor we had was RJ Reynolds for Winston Cup.
Yeah.
When they threw a party, they rent out half a hotel or something, and they had Vegas night or something like that. They had gambling or whatever. You go bowling or barbecue session, or they always had each track. They, especially the main tracks, Daytona, Charlotte. You know, they had it set up.
Yeah.
You know, and of course the riders and everything. You know, but yeah, they did it right. Once Nextel and all them came in, they couldn't do anything compared to what Winston did.
Yeah, they set a high bar, Winston did.
Yeah, and yeah, because hell, you can go. They even give prizes and stuff away, like bowling matches or stuff. Yeah, or drawings. They always had a drawing for something.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, you went to a couple of them.
I went to a couple.
Yeah, but yeah, that was pretty cool. And then let's see.
Now, you did the media tours?
Yeah, I did a lot of the media tours up there before in January. See, I used to do testing in Daytona in January. Okay, and then in January, I used to do the media tours, and then we had the NPA after the media tours.
Yep.
But yeah, and that was another cool deal, because you'd go every shop you went to, they'd tell you how good they were going to be this year, you know, and they'd always have some you got when you left, you know, from a big ass bottle of Budweiser from Earnhardt, or different things. Backpacks were big back then.
Yeah, I would see them at the races early in the year.
Yeah, you know, you'd have different ones.
Yeah.
You know, so, but yeah, that was cool. But starting in January, I was pretty much kept busy from testing and all that. And then time race got here, you know, February, you know.
You already had a month in before you shot your first race.
Yeah. So I already knew what the cars were going to look like. And sometimes, in the majority of the time in testing, the cars weren't painted. But every once in a while, one of them bring a painted car in. But yeah. And a lot of times, now especially testing, like Childress and Hendricks and them, they knew I was there taking photos.
Yeah.
And I told them, if there's something you don't want me to shoot, let me know, you know.
Did they ever tell you not to shoot something?
Yeah, a couple of times, you know. But I don't know. But yeah, I couldn't tell what the hell they were doing, but
yeah,
they knew what they were doing.
They knew if somebody from another team saw it, they would see.
Yeah, so, yeah, but they were pretty cool about it. And I was pretty cool about if they didn't want something, I wouldn't push the issue.
Yeah.
You know, we got to have this, you know. So, yeah, but, yeah, testing was pretty cool. But then there was a time we were in California, and Chad Fletcher was going to go eat with us. And he had his little rent-a-car, and we had ours, which was probably Flew Hardy, the Illustrated people.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. Were you with us or with?
I was with you.
Yeah, okay. And we were going to eat. And Chad said he wanted to go with us. So he was going to follow us to the restaurant. I don't know if Jeff was driving or who was driving. But when other people were trying to follow you, okay. But it ended up, Chad was following us pretty good, and then all of a sudden he made a mistake and hit a curb and blew a tire.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think you have some pictures.
I've got some pictures of that. Yeah.
So, and he was saying, "Don't tell anybody I blew a tire. Don't tell anybody I blew a tire." That's so funny.
Of course, we didn't tell anybody.
No, nobody ever found out about it.
Doesn't matter if it's a comment. Doesn't matter if it's a like. But doesn't matter if you hit that share button and post it on your own social media site. It doesn't matter if you hit that notification bell. If you send a few bucks, that's great. Either way, we're extremely thankful here at Stock Car Facts, and we won't let you down. Thank you so much. Thanks for being with us throughout this series of Confessions of a NASCAR Photographer. The final part to our series with LaDon George is next week, and that'll be part 6 of 6. And then we're going to take the holiday off, and we won't see you until the new year, 2025. Wow, where's the time gone? But we think you'll enjoy our content even then. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week.